this video we're going to be replacing the hydraulic lines on the front blade. I actually made a ramp with a tunnel basically underneath, so I can get underneath there. I got to take the whole underpan off of the machine to get to the hydraulic lines that are inside the turntable. So luckily the machine can still operate without that being used, so I was able to make this pit basically, and I put the log in the front so when the blade drops down it doesn't go all the way down to the ground when I release the hydraulic pressure from it. Let's get it fixed. As you saw in that video, I actually broke a hydraulic line. A log grabbed this hydraulic line right here, and there's some wood right there from it, and actually broke the line on the front blade. So because I got to get all the way underneath the undercarriage into the turntable, and I don't have a jack on site or any way of lifting the machine, I made a little trench. So now I'll be able to crawl underneath there a lot easier. I'll put a piece of plywood down or plastic, and I gotta take the underbelly off and I can replace the lines. No, I just made about dug down by 6 inches and put the dirt on the side, so I got an extra foot of clearance underneath there. You can see it there a little bit better. So these are the replacement lines I had made. I called the Caterpillar dealer, give them the part numbers I needed and the machine serial number, and they were able to make new lines. I'm gonna replace both of them since one of them that's on there is too long and it's the wrong one. It was just a emergency repair I did a couple years ago. So while I have everything apart and drained, I'm gonna put the right ones on. 2 different lengths. Got to make sure you have O-rings for inside here. They go right there. I actually have a couple extra ones in my pocket, so in case these drop out and lose them, I have some more. Got to make sure you don't get dirt in those. And one thing about Caterpillar is if you have the original factory lines on there, there's actually a metal tag on there that shows you the serial number or the part number for that hose. So let me show you that before I start taking anything apart. And that's how I ordered the hydraulic line, one of them. The other one, they just had to look up in the manual. So let me show you that. It's right on the hydraulic line. So I'm on the right side of the machine. And this is a line that broke. It pierced, you can see it bent right here. So it broke the line. But if you follow this line back, all the way back through here, you'll see a metal, fold in here, tag. This tag, let me see if I can get it so I can show you. Actually has a part number right on it. So that's the number right there. So you give them that part number and they'll actually make this hose for you ahead of time. So that's what I did. You see this other one is wicked long. That's just a matter of time for that one breaks. So I'm actually gonna replace that one also while I'm in here. They both go to this cylinder that's underneath here that raises and lowers this blade. And then I'll show you when I get underneath. But here's my little pit I made. I put plastic underneath there so I don't have to lay in the dirt. I got to go underneath there and take off the belly pan. So we'll see if I can get it all set up in there. And the other thing I have to do is I have to release all the hydraulic pressure. So I'm gonna turn the key on and I'm gonna drop this blade and I'm gonna release all the hydraulic pressure in the whole system just to play it safe. I'll run the arms through, run the handles through some of their positions just to make sure all the hydraulic pressure is released. Turn the key back off. I got my tools here. Got a drip pan for some oil. Got some rags. Impact gun. Make it a little easier underneath there. Get some tools underneath there. I'll come back out for these. I want to get the sockets first. I got a metric and standard 1/2-inch drive to take the belly pan off. I'm not sure which it's going to be. All right, let's go underneath. So we're underneath the machine. There's the right side. There's a track. There's my little pit I made. There's a log. There's the hydraulic lines that we're replacing, both sides. So those hydraulic lines go in the turntable. There's 4 bolts right here. Here and here and here. I'm gonna try to set the tripod up somehow. I'm not sure how. But I'll show you what it looks like when you take this turntable off. Because basically, the hydraulics from the cab have to be able to spin around. So there's basically like an octopus up here that has all the hydraulic lines for the drive, for the blade, for anything that's down bottom up in here. So let me take that off. I'll show you. Let me try to set this camera up better too. But you can see how that one cylinder right there is leaking right at that fitting. So that's what we're replacing first since we know that one's broken. That one right there. Back out. There's the front of the machine. So it's probably going to be 5/8 or 16. Yeah, that's 5/8. That's 16. They're both about the same. Half-inch drive. I got my 20-year-old DeWalt battery-powered impactor. See if I can rip this off. There's one. Two. Three is a bolt and a nut, or a bolt and a washer. And you got to make sure you hold it so you don't get hit in the head with it. Shouldn't be too bad up in here because because I just replaced all my drive lines. So let's drop this pan down. Watch out for dirt. There's a little bit of dirt on it. Let me put this bolt away here before I lose it. Right there, see? 4 bolts, hold the skid plate on. And here is the octopus, what I call an octopus. You have all the lines here, in here. These are all the outs. The controls are up above. So, and I am going to assume that these are going to be the worst ones to get to. Oh, there's one here. And here's the other one right there. Not too bad. Nope, not too bad at all. These are not those way back up in there. Those sucked. Those back ones, those were real hard to get when I did all these lines last year. Try this camera angle, I'll show you. So I got to get that line. You can see that metal shield. That line off. And that line off. They're very easily accessible. Luckily, I replaced all those last year. I replaced the drive lines. Those. I think there are 8 of them, 4 on each side. So I don't know how I'm going to do a tripod in here or how you're going to see. So let me just get this started here. I'll prop it up in the corner. You don't have to see up in there. All I'm doing is I'm releasing the line there, releasing the line there. I'm probably going to go release it on the cylinder side first. Try to get some of the hydraulic fluid to drain out down there, so I'm not working under too many drips, because it's going to be messy as messy can be anyways. So you could see, I hope you could see, making that little trench underneath it made all the difference in the world. So I can actually work and actually see a lot more comfortable. Raised it up about a foot basically. The whole machine's a foot higher. Just got to make sure it's stable. Drive on it a couple times, flatten it out before you crawl underneath, and always double check it. Safety first or second. So do your best, try to collect as much fluid as possible. So I got my drip pan underneath here. It's 5/8 to hold the fitting, and it's 11/16 on the hose itself. So that's righty tighty, lefty loosey. Comes right off. You can hear the hydraulic lowering. Just to play it safe, make sure nothing's underneath. None of your body parts are underneath any hydraulics when you disconnect hydraulic lines, and always wear some kind of glasses, because there is going to be pressure, or possibly could be pressure if it doesn't release all the way. Oh, back this off. I think I'm going to take this off. think that'll make it a little bit easier for you to see. Same size as the belly pan bolts. There. That makes it a little easier to see. So this is the line we're taking off. There we go. The leak should be right up in here, right at this fitting. There's an O-ring on this piece here. Those are the O-rings that I showed you. I'm gonna leave that on for right now until I get this whole hose, the old hose, out of here. Hang that in the pan. Let that drain. Yeah, this is going easy. I think I'm gonna do the other side while I'm up here. Let them both drain. Since I have them, I'm gonna be definitely replacing them. So let's do both sides at the same time. Let's live dangerous. Here's the other side. I had replaced this once before with a spare hose I had. And it's lasted this long. But if you look inside, you can see it's starting to dry rot. And since I was replacing one, I might as well replace them both with the correct ones. I'm not getting rid of the machine, so might as well do it right. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Gotta do it without releasing this one. There we go. Had to tap it a little. Again, trying to collect whatever oil I can from dripping. Really not much dripping at all, so that's good. Let's see how bad this one is. Nothing. Very nice, very nice. So the new hose has a larger wire spring on there, or hose protector. I'm hoping it fits through these. So these hoses go right up through the frame and up in under the undercarriage there. So now we got to go underneath and disconnect those. This is the broken line. I already have both lines at the other end disconnected. So there's really only enough room to get one wrench in there. It's 11/16. I'm gonna wipe off any dirt that's on there that I can get off, the loose stuff. And then let's try to get a wrench on this thing. I have my wrenches made for hose lines that I'm probably going to use if I can't get this on here correctly. They're up top. Let's see. Well, that came off loose. Nice. All right, where's my towel? Let's see if it's going to be like changing an oil in a car where you always get oil running on your sleeve. Well, that one's off. Let me show you the O-ring up in there. I'm going to switch cameras here. So it's very important you get that O-ring off before you put the new ones on. Anytime you're going through this much work, you want to replace the O-ring. There you go. Now that's in focus. So you got to be very careful not to mar the fitting also. And then a new one just pops in there. So since this is going so quick and easy, I'm going to take, and there's no hydraulic fluid dripping all over me, I'm going to take this one off also. And I just have that hose stuffed right there. I got to finish pulling it out, but I got to do that from outside. So let's take this one off. This one's the exact same as this one. Let's see. Let's give it a little pop. There it is. Wow, this is going nice. Give it a second, get some air in that line, try to drain it. I'm not getting dirty at all. This is crazy. This is the best repair I've done yet on this machine. This was filled with dirt when I did all these lines, so I pressure washed the whole machine. This dirt is just from this season so far. So let me show you up inside this one. So here you can see on a wide angle, that's one fitting here, one hose here. That's the broken one at the other end. That's the main one that's leaking. And that's the other one. And you could see, zoom in a little, see the O-ring right there on that also. And the O-ring on that. We're going to take those off and replace those before we put new lines in. But right now we're going to let it sit there and fish these lines out. Like I said, I got to fish new ones in this frame. Frame hole there, frame hole there. So let's go back on the top side. Carefully pull this one out. This is that extra long hose that I had replaced a couple years ago. Just set this right here out of the way. And this is the broken one. There we go. And there's that part number tag I was showing you. So I'm gonna take this off and put it on the new line also. You may be able to tell what job site we're on, doing the wood, hauling the wood out from the tree company. So these are the two new ones. When you fish these through, make sure you have the caps on. You can't get any dirt in here, and this is where the O-ring seal sits. And it's a very small 1/2-inch line, so you really got to be careful. So now I got to find a part number, and they put these on and the date of manufacture. Let's see if any of the part numbers are on these, on their tags. There should be. 5640. Nope, they are not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hose that I know is broken, just this one, and I am going to line it up. It is obviously the long one. So this replaces this, and that extra long hose is actually supposed to be a short hose, according to Caterpillar. So let's replace this one first. Make sure you don't get dirt in these ends. So we're going to replace this one first. And what they do sometimes is they'll put O-rings, your O-ring in this cap. And it's not in that one. So let's see if it's in this cap. It's not in that one. Good thing I got extras in my pocket then. Let's go fish out the old O-rings and put this. Oh, I'm gonna snake this through. Hey, there's my buddy. Hey. Come here, buddy. Come here. Yeah, come on, buddy. Yeah. This is my helper today. His brother is around somewhere. This is Tiger. Ah, this is my buddy. Whoa. Say hello. Say hello. Say hi, everybody. I'm here to work. Huh? Say hi, everybody. I'm here to work. Huh? Good boy. All right, it's a long hose. So let's fish this through. Let's fish this through. Here's my supervisor. Here's my supervisor. Wonder why I'm standing here not getting work done. One thing you want to make sure both ends are the same before you start fishing it through. Caps on. Let's see if this hose fits. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Not gonna fit in that one. Fit And this one, yeah, it fits in this one. Fits through the frame. It's gonna be tough to get it through this one. They put the wrong size protector on. Help. Yeah. While I'm out here, I'm gonna replace this O-ring and I'm gonna put this on hand tight. Let me go get a knife to pop that O-ring out. So you gotta be very careful not to scratch this fitting. Just very carefully pull this piece up, this O-ring out. Do I always replace them? Yes, if I can. Worst case scenario, if I can't, if I have to reuse it, I'm very careful about it. But here's the O-ring right there. That's the old O-ring. Let's reach in my pocket for a new one. Here we go. Push it in the hole there. There's a groove. Let's take this cap off. Make sure it's nice and clean. Slide this hose back a little bit. My hands are oily, so the O-ring has a little bit of oil on it, which is good. And I'm going to hold it down a little until I get it lined up. Wiggle the fitting, wiggle the hose a little, and I'm going to end up taking pliers and squeezing this and just trying to get it through there, because I definitely want this protected. But I'm not too worried about getting that through here now or this tight right now. I just want to make sure no dirt gets in there. So that's there. Well, since I'm having such good luck, I'm going to do the other side while I'm out, so I don't have to go back underneath a couple times. There's this hose. Slide the end with the cap. I only had one side, one cap on it. I lost the other cap. Slide that through. So that's gonna go nice. Let's replace the old O-ring. Carefully pry that out. You know what, let me show you what I'm doing here. This one's a good one to show. So here's that O-ring. All these fittings have them on there. So I'm gonna take the tip of the knife, very carefully. I'm just gonna work that O-ring out. There's the O-ring. And see the groove? That's where the new O-ring, the O-ring sits inside that groove. You gotta make sure there's no dirt in there. So let me put you back in the tripod so I can put this together. So here's the new O-ring. Try to get a little bit of clean oil on it. Very carefully press it in there. Smear some oil on it. Take the new hose, inspect this, put a little, my hands are a little bit oily, so put a little oil on it. Line it up. Finger tight, wiggle it. The reason you wiggle it, it's on an angle, because gravity. So you push it in tight, and you can get it in, and just wiggle it every so often like that. And it'll go in farther. And when I go to put them out with a wrench, I'm gonna be wiggling it like that the whole time. Well, in the beginning, to make sure it's flat. I don't want it going like this, I want it flat. Sealed, nice tight flat surfaces. So let's go back underneath and replace those O-rings. A little bit more difficult to get to, but we'll get it. Here's the right side new line that goes up there. Here's the other line that goes way up there. See the caps are on them. So now I got to replace that, take that O-ring out, put a new O-ring in, take that O-ring out, put a new O-ring in, wherever it is up there. So obviously you're not gonna be able to see me do that. I'm not gonna be able to see me do that. I'm gonna have to do that very carefully and blind. Oh, what fun it is. Let's get it done. One thing I forgot to bring was a headlamp. Working on getting that O-ring out. My knife is a little too big to get in there. There it is. All right, it flew off in there. So that's good. All right, nice and clean. Yep. Let's take this cap off. Inspect the end. End is good. Reach in my pocket, get an O-ring. Let's put the O-ring, make sure I don't get dirt in this with my hand. Put the O-ring up in there. I don't know how much you can see. My head's probably in your way. Oh, this is a pain in the butt on this one. You gotta do it by feel. There's a lot of oil on this one, so it's slippery, slipping all over the place. Come on, get in there. Right in. That's in. All right. Put the oil. Make sure it's flat. Put a little oil on this so I don't rip that O-ring. All right, let's carefully do this and not get dirt on it. Inspect the O-ring again, make sure it didn't slip. It's good. Let's get this out now. Ugh. Oh, now my hands are oily, so it's a little harder. You gotta hold it just the right angle. You gotta start it. There it is. All right. That one started. No, it looks a lot nicer than the other one. I'll tighten it up after. All right, let's get this one done. Where's that knife? All right, well, this has a cap on it, so I can stick this out of the way here. Definitely should have brought a headlamp. I normally have one, but... We're gonna replace this O-ring. This is actually the side that was originally leaking, the bad line. The other side already finger tight. Let's try to get this O-ring out of here. Really sucks when you wear glasses. Oh, I got it first shot, right? Nope. This has got to be so much easier for people that don't wear glasses, because I can't see crap even with my glasses. There it is. There's the O-ring. Got it. Oop, it just fell off. All right, inspect it. Looks good. Reach in my pocket. Let's close the knife so we don't get hurt. Got the new O-ring right there. There's oil coming out of it a little bit, so it'll be oiled by the time I get it in there. Oh, that one went in so much easier than the other side. All right, wipe some oil on it. Now, here's the cap. Take the cap off, inspect it. Get rid of that dirt. I just want that little bit of oil that's on the tip of my finger. There. Just don't want it dry. And so you see this is a flat surface right here. Well, it's a flat surface on the other side except for the O-ring groove. So you want these, the two flat surfaces mating perfectly when you go to thread it. Otherwise you'll cross thread it. Just take your time. And don't get any dirt in it. A little extra time now saves a lot of money in the long run in repairs. O-ring is still there. And that's it. All right. That was started nice and easy. So now I'm going to take my 11/16 wrench. I'm going to tighten these two up. Just take my time, go nice and easy. Try not to get too much dirt in my eyes here. All right, so bottomed out there, so I know my O-ring's touching there. This machine's a 2001, so it's 22 years old, and I've owned it for at least 20 years. Second time I replaced this one, first time I replaced that one. So little by little, I'm replacing everything. All right, let's see. There we go, that's nice and tight. You don't want to go too tight. The O-ring does the sealing. There, that's tight, nice. So let's go out on the outside of the machine and connect those. So remember I told you about the wiggling to set this, make sure it's flat. So I got the wrench on it, and all I'm gonna do is just wiggle it a little bit so it doesn't, so make sure it's seated flat. All right, so now it's flat contact. See, there's no wiggle to it. Now let's just tighten it up. And that should be good. Let's go to the other side, over there. And we still got to figure out how to get this through here. So let's see. Oh, there we go. A little more elbow grease, that's all. These actually really do save the line a lot. So anytime they are available, I put them on. All right, so here's the wiggle. See the wiggle? Righty-tighty. Go from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Wiggle. All the play's out of it. It's touching. Let's tighten it up. All right. Let's bring this through more. It's like a slinky. Pull. That'll protect that. Let's try to get a little more in there. There. Okay. I think this repair is done if it don't leak. And we gotta check the hydraulic fluid also, because you know we lost some. But let's start it up. Where are those 2 bolts down here? I want to make sure I don't lose them for the blade guard. All right, so I got these 2 bolts. They were over here. I just want to make sure I don't lose them. Let's fire this thing up, see how it works. Gotta be noisy. All right, I don't see any leaks over here. Let's put the guard back on. So this protects this shield or the chrome from sticks. It's the cylinder. So as you can see, it's bent. It's definitely been hit a few times. Let's try to blow out some of that rust. Alright, this one's cleaned out. Bolt and washer. If I was back at the garage, I'd probably flatten this out, clean it up. I had a job site, I just want to get it done. Hose is protected from the top. This one's not dragging anymore. I'm probably going to put a zip tie. Maybe not. Looks good. It looks good like that. Let's tighten this up. Not too tight. Tight, but not tight. That's not going anywhere. I don't think I can bend this up here. Oh, yeah, I can. Here. That'll give that a little bit more room. So let's go inspect underneath, make sure there's no leaks. So we're back underneath the machine. Turn you up. Let's see what we got. Well, that's one new line. Stick our hands around it. No oil. There's the other new line. Stick our hand around it. No oil. All right, let's button this thing up. Put the underbelly back on. 4 bolts. And we are almost done. Last thing we're gonna have to do is check the hydraulic fluid because I'm not sure how much I lost. So let's button this thing up. The important part about this is let's try to get it back up without losing any teeth, without dropping it. Let's see how it goes. This is a nice light one. This one back here, that protects the oil pan and the muffler. That's heavy. That's a pain to do by yourself. Only fits 2 ways. This way or this way. It's a rectangle. See, now I can get it all the way in by hand. Take this bolt, go to this opposite corner. There. And another nut and bolt. Or bolt and washer, I should say. Not a nut and bolt. Bolt and washer. Bolt and washer. Bolt and washers. Get them in as far as I can by hand, which should be a pretty decent amount now because I did it with the machine. Clean them out. This one's a little tough, but it's fine. I like when people say, you're always working on your equipment. Why don't you buy a new one? Price out a new mini excavator. Let me know how long it's gonna take to pay that off in today's economy. I'm a one-man show. Except if my kids work with me when they're home from college. But I think they're not working this year with me. So, I'm a one-man show. I like it. I like working for myself. And in order for me to buy a new machine, my prices would have to be outrageous, and I'd have to work every day, all day long, just to pay for the machine. This machine has treated me very well. Has made me plenty of money. I don't mind putting a little love and care into her. I'm done. Let's go check the hydraulic oil. I want to pick up all my tools. Let's not drop the sockets all over the place. That's all the oil. Not bad. Nothing on the ground at all. Nothing on the plastic, nothing on the ground. Perfect. I know this hose is bad, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take this tag off. It's this aluminum tag. And I am actually going to go put it on the hose that I replaced. So if I ever break it again, it's a very convenient way to figure out the line. So on the side of the machine, the hydraulic tank is in here and the fuel tank's in here. The way you access it, it's right here. There's a sight glass down here. And I don't see any on the sight glass in there at all. That's the sight glass. There's a sight glass. There's a red line down there. It wasn't even there. There's a middle line where I just filled it to. And that's a high line way up there in the dark. You can't see it. I think I got oil on my lens. My camera lens there. But anyways, there's a sight glass. So when it's cold, it should be, as far as I know, to that line or a little bit less, because when it gets hot, it expands and it needs room for expansion. There you go. Obviously, hydraulic fluid expands when it gets hot. That's why you have the expansion. And there's a filler. Diesel fuel, hydraulic fluid. It even says hydraulic fluid. So, and there's a sight glass for the diesel fuel. I got about 3/4 of a tank, maybe half a tank. So I got to fill that up too. Machine's back in action. There's the inspector. Here's the boss. Here's the inspector. Here's the boss. What do you think, buddy? What do you think? Huh? Yeah? Yeah? One thing about Tiger, he doesn't like noise. So when I fire this up, he's gonna run away. So I'm gonna put the stump back over here, fill it in. There's no oil on the ground. So I am good.